Hey, what's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Sean Lamb here with another installment of Gear Talk. Now, the question I get asked most is, how many Waylon Jennings shirts do you have? And I think probably, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 17 or something like that, but I don't know. That's beside the point. The question I get asked the second most is, hey, I kind of want to put on a podcast, just me and some buddies, but it just sounds so expensive. Is there a cheap microphone that I could use to get me by? And the answer is yes, there absolutely is. Actually, for my podcast studio, I've been using the Audio Technica AT2020, which is like $100 microphone. And I know you're thinking, well, how good can a $100 microphone possibly sound? To which I say, well, let's just mosey on over to my podcast studio and you can hear it for yourself. All right, let's go on over. Okay, guys, welcome back. We moseyed on over to my little podcast studio here. And as you can see, it's a lot of green screen. We'll go ahead and, there we go. That's better. That's probably easier on your eyes. Now, what I've got going on here is I've got an AT2020 in front of me. I've got an AT2020 over there for another guest or whatever, and an AT2020. That's all three of them. That's what they all are. And I know you're thinking, oh, you've got to have them on shock mount. You're going to, well, you know what? Just don't bump into the microphone stand, okay? We're doing this on a budget. These were like $40 from on-stage stands or something like that, these little boom arms or whatever. And they come in handy. They make things look professional. And I'm sure you're looking at these. These are actually coasters because I drink a whole lot of beer in here. And I know you're thinking, well, how come I've never seen your podcast? You got this podcast studio. Well, because I'm doing stuff like this. I've made a lot of podcasts, but only a few of them are appropriate enough to actually put on the internet. Okay, anyway, all that stuff aside. So what we got going on here, we got these three microphones. And behind me, which, man, I bet you probably can't see it, but they are running into a Yamaha, like a 10-channel board, okay? And all these microphones are on right now, and they're phantom-powered microphones. So this is what it sounds like, dead quiet, all the mics on. So I'm sure you can hear like a little bit of humming, but it's nothing crazy. So I've got all these microphones going into the board, and I've got an XLR cable coming out of the mono main of the board into a PreSonus audio box. And that PreSonus audio box is running into my MacBook Pro, going straight into GarageBand, and I'm just kind of recording, all this as we go. So that's how that whole thing works out. But as far as clarity goes, I mean, for like a podcast with you and your bros or whatever, I think this is perfect. I think this is the perfect amount of microphone for something like that. I think it's, I don't think it sounds cheap or dull or anything like that. I think it picks up plenty of sound and stuff like that. So I think if you're looking for a very good, podcast mic, this is a great place to start. $99. I've got, like I said, I've got $300 invested in microphones. I've got like a Behringer headphone amp for all this stuff, which is uber cheap too. So maybe I'll list some of the gear I've got in the description of the video. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask, because I'm all about people starting up podcast studios or anything to kind of put their brand out there. I'm all about it. And if there's any way I can help and answer questions, by God, send them my way. But until next time, subscribe. I hope you like the microphones. Like I said, leave me some comments. We'll talk about them. Until next time.